Duke McKenzie didn't hold back, openly calling out both Paul brothers. Logan's furious outbursts looked amateurish and desperate, while Jake, still reeling from the damage, was left completely powerless. In stark contrast, Anthony Joshua radiated dominance and control, turning the entire encounter into a masterclass in authority. The brothers' humiliation couldn't have been more public or more absolute.
Everybody knows he's not a real boxer. There's levels to this game, and he was way out of his level, way out of his...
Logan Paul's own words betrayed him. He rambled about his brother's broken jaw, desperately trying to cover his embarrassment. But with every sentence, it became clearer just how outmatched they truly were. Anthony Joshua, calm and precise, dismantled the Paul brothers without breaking a sweat. Logan's frustration only deepened the humiliation, transforming his attempt at dominance into a public spectacle of defeat.
I just pissed him off, then he broke my brother's jaw. Fuck this guy. Broke his jaw, huh? Yeah, he split his jaw. Yeah? He don't care, Jake's having a fucking laugh.
Carl Froch didn't sugarcoat it. He perfectly captured the chaos as it unfolded. The Paul brothers looked lost, scrambling like amateurs, while Anthony Joshua moved with ice-cold precision. Every glance, every step he took screamed authority. Froch's disbelief mirrored what viewers were thinking. How does anyone compete with this level of dominance? The moment was equal parts masterclass and meltdown.
But where does he go from here? What does he do? I'm not even arsed, man. I can't be arsed with this bullshit anymore, this clown world. It's a joke shop. It's just a big fucking...
Duke McKenzie made it brutally clear. The Paul brothers' bravado had been completely shattered. Jake's broken jaw was a harsh reminder that actions have consequences, and Logan's anger couldn't hide his helplessness. Anthony Joshua, calm and methodical, had orchestrated a public takedown that went far beyond the ring, leaving everyone asking the same question. Who can realistically stand against him now?
He did that too, because now he won't be able to talk like he does for a while.
Eddie Hearn pointed out a rare crack in Anthony Joshua's usually calm exterior. For a brief moment, Joshua showed irritation as Logan Paul tried to provoke him. But even then, Joshua's authority never slipped. Every movement was controlled and deliberate. Logan's antics looked amateurish next to a champion whose mere presence was enough to command the entire room.
The push was, listen, we've seen worse, you know what I mean, but lively. And what followed actually was one of the few times that I've seen Anthony Joshua unravel, if you like, because normally he's very composed, but you can't be composed when a man's talking to you like that.
Johnny Nelson said it best. Jake Paul received the harshest reality check of his life. He walked in believing he could handle Anthony Joshua, only to be completely overpowered and exposed. Logan Paul's failed theatrics only deepened the embarrassment, making the brothers look like amateurs lost in the shadow of a true champion. Joshua's calm precision made one thing clear. He wasn't just fighting Jake Paul. He was dismantling the entire Paul narrative. This wasn't just a victory in the ring. It was a psychological and reputational knockout for both brothers.
This kid have a reality check. And that's what he actually did, because Jake Paul himself said, I was shattered. You know, this guy, everything I thought.
Vitaly Klitschko highlighted why Joshua's impact went far beyond the fight itself. While Jake and Logan Paul floundered, Joshua's victory wasn't just about beating an opponent. It was a statement to the entire boxing world. Every move reflected skill, authority, and composure. The Paul brothers' antics looked childish, completely overshadowed by Joshua's reach and dominance. He didn't just win, he elevated his legacy, expanded his influence, and left the Paul brothers scrambling to stay relevant in a story they were already losing.
It was the bread. AJ's win today was the exposure to more people. Even though he's mad famous, as we know, like, there's a community he hasn't touched, and I think he touched that community today.
Eddie Hearn broke down the calculated brilliance behind Joshua's performance. Jake Paul's evasive tactics only delayed the inevitable. Joshua's patience and precision ensured the knockout was always coming. The shot that shattered Jake's jaw wasn't just physical. It was a public declaration of superiority. Logan's failed attempts to intervene or protect his brother only added to the humiliation. Joshua's dominance was so complete that even toughness couldn't prevent the Paul brothers from looking outclassed, overwhelmed, and completely exposed.
It took AJ a couple of rounds to get hold of him, and then he knocked him spark out and broke his jaw. It was a frustrating 2-3 rounds maybe, because Jake was moving so much, holding.
Johnny Nelson made a brutal observation. Facing Anthony Joshua was a harsh lesson in reality for the Paul brothers. Neither Jake nor Logan grew as fighters. Instead, they were publicly exposed for what they truly are. Joshua's superior skill, composure, and strategic brilliance highlighted the vast gap between a seasoned world champion and social media personalities playing boxer. Every failed tactic and every desperate move only underscored their lack of readiness. This wasn't just a win. It was a career-defining statement that dismantled the Paul brothers on every level, proving that hype can never replace real talent.
For his career, for his bank account, everything, for his development, I don't think he did anything for his development because he didn't have somebody in front of him that wanted to test his development.
Duke McKenzie broke it down perfectly. This fight did nothing for Jake Paul's development because he wasn't there to test himself. He was there to survive. From the opening bell, Jake's strategy wasn't about skill or ambition. It was about escape. He ran, retreated, and avoided exchanges like a novice trapped in a lion's den. Logan Paul's desperate posturing outside the ring only deepened the humiliation, making the brothers look lost and ineffective. Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua displayed complete mastery. He patiently dismantled his opponent, allowing Jake to exhaust himself before delivering the decisive blow. This wasn't just a fight. It was a demonstration of superior intelligence, control, and dominance. Joshua didn't need theatrics. His presence alone dictated the pace, the pressure, and the outcome. The Paul brothers' reputations took a serious hit, once again proving that social media bravado can never match genuine boxing skill.
Jake Paul knew exactly what his tactics would be going into that fight. He was in there just to survive. He wasn't in there to win. He didn't even try to win. He couldn't win. So when you know in your mindset, you know in your mind's eye, I can't win that fight. What do? I've got to survive. How do I survive? I've got to run.
Eddie Hearn put it bluntly, Jake Paul never had a real chance. Survival was the best outcome he could hope for, and even that was unlikely. He moved frantically, clinched repeatedly, and retreated constantly, desperate to keep the fight alive. In contrast, Anthony Joshua controlled every second with surgical precision, showing exactly why he operates on a different level. Logan Paul's failed attempts to intervene or intimidate from ringside only magnified the embarrassment. Joshua's dominance was absolute. Every feint, every step, every punch sent the same message. Hype and bravado mean nothing against a true champion. The Paul brothers' narrative of toughness collapsed completely, leaving fans and analysts stunned by the sheer gap in class.
Jake had one job, and that was to try and survive. I mean, he was never ever going to win the fight, ever. And if you would have said to me, do I think he'll go 6 rounds? I would have said absolutely not. I mean, I felt that it would take AJ a couple of rounds to get hold of him, because I knew Jake can move a bit and he'd be moving off the...
Spencer Oliver laid it out perfectly. Anthony Joshua controlled the fight with the poise and precision of a master strategist. Jake Paul, despite his frantic movement and occasional punches, was little more than a pawn in Joshua's plan. Joshua allowed him to flail, conserving energy while waiting for the perfect moment. The single, crushing punch that broke Jake's jaw in 2 places was the result of calculated patience, not desperation. Logan Paul's antics outside the ring only intensified the humiliation, leaving both brothers looking exposed and overwhelmed. Fans didn't just witness a fight, they saw a textbook masterclass in ring control, timing, and psychological dominance. Joshua didn't merely win. He dismantled every ounce of hype surrounding the Paul brothers, proving that social media bravado can never replace true skill. Every movement sent a clear message. Anthony Joshua operates in a league far beyond the Paul brothers' reach.
Joshua, I think that he needed to get the job done inside the distance, and he's done it. Like, he could have done it at any given point. I think that he could have cut the ring off whenever he wanted to and got Jake Paul out of there. He took his time on that. He allowed Jake Paul to run around like a rabbit and throw the occasional shot from time to time, and I think he only landed 1 clean punch, didn't he, Anthony Joshua? And that was
Simon Jordan perfectly captured the absurdity of the spectacle. While Netflix audiences were drawn in by the chaos, Jake Paul's frantic movements and Logan's failed attempts to intervene. The reality was brutal. The Paul brothers were humiliated on a global stage. Anthony Joshua's dominance wasn't just physical. It was psychological. He controlled the ring, dictated the tempo, and made every desperate move from Jake look amateurish. Even skeptics of Joshua were forced to acknowledge the clinical precision of his performance. The Paul brothers' overhype, social media bravado, and empty theatrics collapsed completely, leaving them exposed and irrelevant. This wasn't simply a victory. It was a total dismantling of their credibility. A public lesson in skill, composure, and strategy. Joshua's authority extended far beyond the ropes, reinforcing the undeniable gap between a true world-class champion and overhyped challengers struggling to protect a shattered image.
Netflix have got some wonderful content, and Jake Paul runs around doing what Jake Paul does. So everybody wins, and only the people that don't win are the people that go, well, look at, and even the people that think Anthony Joshua is a busted flush now go, well, that proves.
Anthony Joshua's performance wasn't just a win. It was a statement to the entire boxing world. Jake Paul's frantic movement and Logan Paul's desperate theatrics outside the ring only highlighted how outmatched they truly were. Joshua controlled the pace, cut off the ring with precision, and waited patiently for the perfect moment to deliver a devastating blow, leaving Jake with a broken jaw and both brothers' credibility in ruins. Fans weren't just watching a fight. They were witnessing a masterclass in dominance, strategy, and composure. Every punch, every feint, every calculated step reinforced Joshua's supremacy, while exposing the Paul brothers as overhyped amateurs relying on spectacle instead of substance. The question now is unavoidable. Can Jake and Logan Paul recover from this public humiliation, or has their hype been permanently shattered? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for full fight breakdowns, shocking reactions, and the most unfiltered takes on boxing's biggest moments. This is the story everyone will be talking about.